This is Duff McKagan, and you're watching Loudwire. I was here in New York City, really, when I started the book. The Seahawks were playing in the Super Bowl, the good one, the one we won. And I was turning 50 3 days later. And I was getting a lot of texts, like from my friends, like razzing me, like, dude, the big 5-0, you're over the hill. But my team had just won, so it's the first time we ever won a Super Bowl. And I followed this team with my friends I was with since we were 12. And we finally won, and 50 didn't even matter to me, you know? And then, so I was flying back from JFK to Seattle, and I kind of started the book in asking myself a question: what did that mean to be 50? And what does it mean to be a man? So I was like, what does it mean to be a 50-year-old man? What does it mean to be a man? And I kind of went back, and like at 18, I think all of us, dudes, you know, we think being a man is like how many beers you can drink, right? How many chicks you can, right? And whose ass you can kick. Basically, those are the three tenets for being a man. And I was like, flash forward like 20 years, and I had a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, like an infant. And I was in a grocery store, and I was getting like diapers and stuff you think like, well, that's not very manly. And getting toilet paper, and my wife's calling me my cell phone, and the checkers on the loudspeaker overhead, and it's kind of chaotic, and 2 girls. And I wasn't drinking beers, I wasn't kicking anybody's ass, and I wasn't getting with a bunch of chicks. And I was the happiest I'd ever been. So I thought about that as I was flying and kind of writing, and like, how did that happen? What's the change? Because it doesn't happen overnight, it just happens. I mean, writing a book is kind of a big thing. I was so used to writing 1,000-word columns, and I did that for 5 years. And so writing in 1,000-word sort of like hits is natural. But when you write a book and you kind of get stuck onto a subject, you know, it can be 20,000 words on one thing, which it can be overwhelming. And the first book, because I kind of like, for the first time in my life, looked back at my life and got really honest with my part in my path. This book is a lot. This is stuff I learned from other people. This is applying like mistakes, just on a kind of a man's side of things. There's poignant bits in the book, but all in all, it's a lot more lighthearted. It's not all me. All the time, it's really just asking questions and exposing mistakes either I've made or I've seen made. I think I kind of realized that Velvet Revolver was playing at Hammersmith Odeon. It was 2004. Our band was like just taking off, and everything was killer. And we played. It was like 3 sold-out nights at Hammersmith. Killer place to play. Amazing. Bowie done. You know, this is the place to play if you're in London. And Jimmy Page comes. Jimmy Page, right? And I'm like, whoa. Finally kind of made it, you know. And I was aware of my surroundings at this point in 2004. And he was the nicest dude I ever met. Like really gracious, really cool. And at that point, I'm like, this is Jimmy Page. And I kind of realized, like, he's the one who made me realize, like, the people that have been around for a long time, they're talented. He's talented as hell. But he's a cool dude, you know, and he shows up, he appreciates stuff he sees. He's not up in your grill. He's just a cool guy. And he thanked us for, you know, having us to the show and took off. And next night, like, Brian May came, Dr. Brian May, the nicest guy you ever met. The guy's an icon, he's a legend. And it's kind of the same thing, just the nicest, he wasn't a dick. He's just a really good guy. And I'm like, aha, I think I'm getting it. Like, don't be a dick. I think the people that, and it's like, it's kind of hard I think it's harder on a person to be a dick all the time, you know? Just go home and settle your stuff, whatever you got going on in there. And like road rage, just don't worry about that guy being a dick. Just, you know, hope they go home and don't treat their family like that. And it can go off into any, you know, part of your life. Just don't be a dick. they watch everything you do. Dads, they watch everything you do. And even like starting in just a couple of years, so you can't let your guard down. Like you can't come home, strip down to your underwear and start swearing and scratching your balls, dude. That's over. That's just over. Because they watch everything you do, and they kind of judge. If you care for your daughter, which I assume you're going to care for your daughter, and I care for mine. You gotta be the example of what males are, good or bad. You got to be that guy. So you're gonna fuck up 5,000 times, and I've fucked up 10,000 times. But at the end, we're at 17 and 14 now, and we're seeing kind of the result. I think your parenting, number 2, your parenting's done by the time they're about 10 or 11. Done. You gave them all their inputs. They're at school all the time. At 11, 12, they're going to after school stuff. They're with their friends. They're away from you all the time. So whatever you've done, instilled into them, they're using it. It's too late to instill more. I mean, they'll learn more stuff from you, but think of that. And then when they're 14 in high school, are they going to make the choice to get in that senior's car? You've instilled into them to make the right choices by then. You're done. You're just kind of like, I saw Callan Cowherd. He was talking about this, and he was totally on. He said, you're just sort of like a consultant at that point.